Black woman took her quadruplets to a company gala she was invited to, but found someone that shocked her. Our babies. Caleb, Jordan, Autumn, Haven, all four of them staring back at him with those unmistakable eyes. One brown, one green, just like his. His voice cracked when he finally looked at me. Kendra, are they mine? Every eye in that ballroom turned to me. Phones were already recording. This moment was about to go viral. The tech billionaire, the secret children, the single mother in a thrift store dress. I could have lied. I could have grabbed my children and run, but I was done protecting his secrets. Yes, they are yours. Caleb, Jordan, Autumn, and Haven. They are 5 years old. You left me 6 years ago, 2 weeks before I found out I was carrying them. So yes, Trevor, they are yours. Congratulations. You are a father. He fell to his knees right there on that stage. A grown man in a $5,000 suit, sobbing in front of Seattle's elite. And his wife, if you could even call her that anymore, she screamed so loud the chandeliers seemed to shake. You have what? You had children with another woman? She ripped the diamond ring off her finger and threw it at his chest. It bounced off and clattered across the floor. We are done. My lawyers will contact you tomorrow. I want half of everything. Then she grabbed a champagne flute from a nearby waiter and dumped the entire thing over his head. The golden liquid ran down his face, soaking his perfectly styled hair. She threw the glass down. It exploded into 1,000 pieces. That was the night my life changed forever. But before I tell you whether I ever forgave him, whether I let him back into our lives, whether love can truly survive that kind of betrayal, let me ask you something. Have you ever walked into a room and come face to face with the person who destroyed you? Have you ever had to choose between protecting your children and confronting your past? Have you ever been a single mother doing everything alone, only to watch the father waltz back in when it is convenient for him? This is not just my story. This is the story of every woman who has been abandoned, every parent who chose their children over revenge, every person who had to decide if forgiveness is even possible. And if you have ever been betrayed by someone you loved, if you have ever wondered whether people can truly change, you need to hear what happened next. But I need you to do something for me right now. Hit that subscribe button. Turn on those notifications, because this story has twists you will not see coming. Moments that will make you cry, moments that will make you angry, and a question at the end that you will have to answer for yourself. Would you have done what I did? Drop a comment and tell me. Would you have forgiven him? Now let me take you back to the beginning, to the day that invitation arrived, to the moment everything I had built came crashing down. My name is Kendra Washington, and this is my story. 6 years ago, I thought I had found forever. His name was Trevor Kincaid, though back then he was not the tech billionaire you see in magazines. He was just a guy with a dream and a startup that was barely staying afloat. We met in a coffee shop in Capitol Hill. I was freelancing as a graphic designer, working 3 jobs just to pay rent on my studio apartment. I was carrying 2 coffees in my laptop bag, trying to navigate through the crowded cafe, when someone bumped into me from behind. The coffee went everywhere, all over this man's laptop, all over his white shirt, all over the table where he had papers spread out. Oh my God, I am so sorry. I am so sorry. I grabbed napkins, frantically trying to clean up the mess. The laptop was dripping. His papers were soaked. I wanted to disappear into the floor, but he just laughed. Not a annoyed laugh, a real, genuine laugh that made his eyes crinkle at the corners. It is okay. Really, I have been staring at these spreadsheets for 3 hours. I think the universe just told me to take a break. I looked up at him then, really looked at him. He had light brown hair that was slightly too long, falling into his eyes. And those eyes, one was dark brown, the other was bright green. Heterochromia. I had never seen it in person before. Your eyes are beautiful. The words came out before I could stop them. I felt my face get hot. He smiled. Thank you. It is a genetic thing. Runs in my family. And your eyes are pretty beautiful too. We talked for 3 hours that day. He told me about his tech startup, how he was trying to build software that would help small businesses manage their operations. I told him about my dream of opening my own design firm one day. We talked about Seattle, about coffee, about dreams that felt too big. By the time we left that cafe, I had his number. And he had mine. 3 months later, we were inseparable. He would come to my tiny apartment after working 16-hour days. I would cook him dinner, usually pasta, because that was all I could afford. We would sit on my second-hand couch and talk about the future. He told me I was the most talented designer he had ever met. I told him his company was going to change everything. We believed in each other when no one else did. Can I tell you something? He asked me one night. We were lying on my couch, my head on his chest, listening to the rain hit the windows. Always. I think I am falling in love with you, Kendra. My heart stopped, then started again, beating so fast I thought he could hear it. I think I am falling in love with you too. He kissed me then, soft and sweet and full of promise. And I thought that was it. I thought I had found the person I was going to spend my life with, but I was wrong. It was a Tuesday when everything ended. I remember because Tuesdays were our day. Every Tuesday, rain or shine, we would meet at that same coffee shop where we first met. It was our tradition. But that Tuesday, he did not show up. I waited for an hour, sent 3 texts, called twice, nothing. I told myself there was an emergency at work, a meeting that ran late, something that had a logical explanation. Wednesday came, still nothing. I called again, straight to voicemail. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, a whole week of silence. I went to his apartment building. The doorman told me he had moved out 3 days ago. Moved out? Where did he go? I do not have that information, miss. I called his office number. A professional voice told me he was no longer taking calls at that number. I checked his social media. Everything was deleted. Our photos, our conversations, everything. Trevor Kincaid had erased me from his life, like I never existed. I cried for 2 weeks straight. My best friend Rochelle came over every night, bringing food I could not eat and tissues I went through by the box. He is not worth it, Ro kept saying. Any man who disappears like that is not worth your tears. But I could not stop crying, because 2 weeks after he disappeared, I woke up nauseous. So nauseous I barely made it to the bathroom. I threw up everything in my stomach, then kept throwing up even when there was nothing left. It is probably just stress, I told myself. Heartbreak does weird things to your body. But the nausea did not stop. It got worse. Every morning, every afternoon, every evening. Finally, Rochelle dragged me to the clinic. The doctor was a kind woman with gray hair and gentle hands. She asked me questions. When was my last period? Was I sexually active? Could I be pregnant? I do not think so. I mean, we were careful. Mostly. Let us just do a test to be sure. I sat in that examination room for 15 minutes while they ran the test. I stared at the motivational poster on the wall. A kitten hanging from a branch. Hang in there. I almost laughed. Or cried. I could not tell which. The doctor came back in. Sat down. Smiled. Congratulations, Miss Washington. You are pregnant. The room spun. I gripped the edge of the examination table. How far along? About 8 weeks. I would like to do an ultrasound to confirm and check on the baby's development. Is that okay? I nodded. Could not speak. Could only nod. They did the ultrasound right there. The doctor squirted cold gel on my stomach. Pressed the wand against my skin. I stared at the screen, seeing nothing but black and white blobs. Then the doctor went very still. She moved the wand, stared at the screen, moved it again. Is something wrong? My voice came out as a whisper. Not wrong exactly, just unexpected. Miss Washington, are you seeing this? She pointed at the screen. I saw 4 distinct shapes. 4 tiny blobs with flickering lights in the center. Those are heartbeats. You are carrying quadruplets. I am carrying what? Quadruplets. 4 babies. It is extremely rare, especially without fertility treatments. But there they are. 4 healthy heartbeats. The room went completely dark for a second. I thought I was going to pass out. 4 babies. I was alone. I was barely making rent. I was working 3 freelance jobs just to eat. And I was going to have 4 babies. By myself. I walked out of that clinic in a daze. Rochelle took one look at my face and knew. What is it? What did they say? I am pregnant. She hugged me tight. Okay, we can handle this. You are strong. We will figure it out. Ro, I am not just pregnant. I am having quadruplets. She pulled back, stared at me. You are having 4 babies? 4 babies. She did not say anything for a long moment. Then she grabbed my hand. Then we better get to work. The pregnancy was hell. I worked 3 jobs until I was 7 months along. Graphic design contracts during the day, waitressing at night, freelance logo work on weekends. Every penny went into a savings account for when the babies came. I ate 1 meal a day to save money. Ramen mostly. Sometimes pasta if I felt fancy. I bought maternity clothes from thrift stores. I went to every prenatal appointment alone. I sat in waiting rooms full of happy couples and tried not to cry. The doctor told me at 7 months that I needed to stop working or I would risk premature labor. But I need the money. You need to stay healthy for those babies. They need you. Rest is not optional anymore, so I stopped working. I lived off my savings. I watched that bank account number go down and down and down, and I tried not to panic. On February 14th, Valentine's Day, my water broke. I was alone in my apartment. The contractions started immediately, fast and hard and so painful I could not breathe. I called Rochelle. She was at work, but she left immediately. She got me to Brooklyn Hospital, held my hand while the nurses rushed me into a delivery room. The doctor came in, young guy with kind eyes. Okay, Miss Washington, let us meet these babies. 18 hours of labor, 18 hours of pain that felt like my body was being ripped apart. 18 hours of nurses coming in and out, checking monitors, whispering to each other. 18 hours with Rochelle holding one hand and a nurse holding the other. You are doing great. Just a little more. You can do this. But I could not do it. I was so tired, so broken, so alone. I cannot do this. Yes, you can. Those babies need you. You are the strongest person I know. Now push. So I pushed. And I screamed, and I cried, and finally, I heard it, the most beautiful sound in the world, a baby crying. It is a boy. They put him on my chest for just a second. Tiny, perfect, brown skin like mine, and when he opened his eyes, I saw it. 1 brown eye, 1 green eye, just like his father. They took him to clean him up, and then the contractions started again, 3 more times. 3 more babies, 3 more perfect little lives. Caleb, born first, the serious one. Jordan, born second, the quiet one. Autumn, born third, the curious one. Haven, born last, the sweet one. All of them premature, all of them tiny, all of them with my brown skin and his impossible eyes. They had to stay in the NICU for 2 months. I went every single day. Took 2 buses each way, sat beside their incubators, held their tiny hands through the openings, talked to them, sang to them, promised them I would give them the best life I could, even if I had no idea how. When I finally brought them home, I had 4 car seats that the hospital social worker helped me get, 4 cribs that I bought secondhand on Craigslist, 4 of everything, and no idea how to take care of 4 newborns by myself. The first year was a blur. I did not sleep, could not sleep. When one baby finally fell asleep, another would wake up crying. I fed them, changed them, rocked them, sang to them, all while running on 2 hours of sleep and living off peanut butter sandwiches. I started my design business from my kitchen table during their naps. Clients were understanding when they heard babies crying in the background. Some of them gave me more work because they admired my hustle. Slowly, so slowly, I built something. Not much, but enough to pay rent, enough to buy diapers and formula, enough to survive. 5 years. 5 years of doing it alone. 5 years of birthday parties for 4, where I made cupcakes at midnight because that was the only time they were all asleep. 5 years of preschool drop-offs and pickups. 5 years of skinned knees and bad dreams and questions about where their daddy was. Mama, why do other kids have daddies but we do not? Caleb asked me that question 3 weeks before the gala. We were at the park. He was watching another little boy play catch with his father. Some families look different, baby. We have mama, and that is enough. But why do not we have a daddy? I did not have an answer. What was I supposed to say? Your father left before he knew you existed. Your father chose his career over us. Your father broke my heart into so many pieces I am still finding them. Sometimes things do not work out the way we plan. But you have me and Auntie Ro and each other. That is a pretty great family." He nodded, but I saw the sadness in his mismatched eyes, and I hated Trevor Kincaid all over again. Then the invitation came. Gold embossed envelope. Expensive paper. My business name printed in elegant script. "You are cordially invited to the Meridian Tech Annual Corporate Gala. We would like to discuss a potential partnership with Carter Design Studio." I read it 3 times. Meridian Tech was huge. A contract with them could change everything. I could hire employees, rent actual office space, send my kids to better schools. This was the break I had been waiting for. The gala was on Saturday, 2 days away. I called my regular babysitter. She was sick. Called the backup. She was out of town. Called Rochelle. "I am working a double at the hospital," Rose said. "I am so sorry. Can you reschedule?" "It is a corporate gala. You do not reschedule those. I will figure something out." I hung up and looked at my 4 children playing in the living room. Caleb was reading a book about dinosaurs. Jordan was humming and coloring. Autumn was building a tower with blocks. Haven was making her stuffed animals have a tea party. "Babies, how would you like to go to a fancy party with Mama?" 4 heads turned to look at me. "What kind of party?" Caleb asked. "A grown-up party, with fancy food and music and pretty decorations. But you have to promise to be on your very best behavior." "We promise, Mama." All 4 of them said it at the same time. I took them to the thrift store the next day. Found matching outfits for all of them. Navy blue pants and white button-up shirts for the boys. Navy blue dresses with white collars for the girls. $8 each. For myself, I found a simple black dress. $15. It was plain, but it was clean and it fit. Saturday evening, I got everyone ready. I buttoned Caleb's shirt, tied Jordan's shoes, zipped Autumn's dress, brushed Haven's curly hair until it shone. Then I put on my black dress and looked in the mirror. I looked tired. There were dark circles under my eyes that concealer could not quite hide, but I stood up straight, lifted my chin. Tonight could change our lives. "You all look so beautiful." "You look beautiful too, Mama." Haven hugged my legs. We took the bus to downtown Seattle, then transferred to another bus. The kids were excited, pointing out the window at the tall buildings and the people in fancy clothes. When we got off at the stop near the Grand Conservatory, they gasped. "Mama, is that a castle?" "Sort of, baby. It is where the party is." The Grand Conservatory was stunning. Glass ceiling that showed the darkening sky. Crystal chandeliers that threw rainbow light across the marble floors. People in designer gowns and expensive jewelry. Men in suits that cost more than my monthly rent. I felt out of place immediately. My thrift store dress, my worn shoes, my 4 children in their second-hand outfits, but I held Haven's hand, made sure Caleb, Jordan, and Autumn stayed close, and I walked through those doors with my head high. "We can do this. Just stay close to Mama, okay?" "Okay, Mama." The ballroom was the most beautiful room I had ever seen. Tables with white tablecloths and gold centerpieces. A string quartet playing in the corner. Waiters walking around with champagne and appetizers. Everyone looked like they belonged in a magazine. I scanned the room looking for the Meridian Tech representatives. I had studied their photos online. The CEO, the VP of Operations, the Director of Marketing. I needed to make a good impression. This contract could be everything. Then I heard the announcement. "Ladies and gentlemen, if I could have your attention, please. Our host for the evening would like to say a few words." Everyone turned toward the stage at the front of the ballroom. A spotlight came on, and a man walked up to the microphone. My blood turned to ice. No, this is not possible. Trevor Kincaid stood on that stage in a perfectly tailored black suit. His hair was styled. His face was confident. He looked like money, like success, like he had never broken down in my apartment crying about how scared he was that his startup would fail, like he had never promised me forever. "Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us for Meridian Tech's annual gala. Tonight we are here to celebrate innovation, partnership, and giving back to our community." His voice was the same, a little deeper maybe, but the same voice that had told me he loved me. The same voice that had gone silent 6 years ago. I need to leave, right now, before he sees me. I turned to grab my children. but I was too late. "Mama, look at all the pretty lights." Autumn pulled her hand free and ran toward the stage, toward the huge crystal chandeliers and the elaborate floral arrangements. And like dominoes, the others followed. Caleb, Jordan, Haven, all four of them running across that marble floor in their navy blue outfits. "No, babies, come back." But they could not hear me, or they were too excited to listen. People turned to look. Some smiled at the cute children. Some looked annoyed. I ran after them, my heels clicking on the marble. On stage, Trevor stopped talking. He looked down, saw 4 children running toward him. 4 beautiful brown-skinned children with curly black hair. And then they stopped, right in front of the stage, looking up at the decorations with wide-eyed wonder. I watched it happen in slow motion, Trevor's eyes moving from child to child, seeing their faces, seeing their eyes. 1 brown, 1 green, all 4 of them. The same genetic anomaly that he had, the same impossible eyes. His face went completely white. The microphone slipped from his hand and hit the stage with a screech that made everyone wince. The champagne glass he was holding fell from his fingers. It hit the marble and exploded. Glass flew everywhere. The golden liquid spread across the white floor. 200 people went silent. Every conversation stopped. Every head turned. Some looked at the broken glass. Some looked at Trevor. Some looked at the children. Next to Trevor, a woman in a champagne-colored gown stepped forward. I recognized her from business magazines. Francesca Ashton, hotel heiress, new money with old money attitude. And according to the announcement I'd seen 3 years ago, she was Trevor Kincaid's wife, Alex. Her voice was sharp with concern. "Alex, what is wrong?" But Trevor could not answer. He was staring at my children like he was seeing ghosts. His mouth opened, but no sound came out. I finally reached Caleb and grabbed his hand, pulled Haven close. "Caleb, Jordan, Autumn, Haven, come to Mama right now." But they were distracted by all the attention, by the pretty lights, by the fancy decorations. Francesca's eyes moved from Trevor to the children. She looked at their faces, then she looked at their eyes. Her own eyes went wide. She turned to Trevor, then back to the children, then to Trevor again. "Alex," her voice got higher. Those children have your eyes." People started murmuring, pulling out phones, moving closer to see better. Francesca grabbed Trevor's arm, both of them. "The heterochromia. It runs in your family. It is documented in your medical history. How do those children have the Kincaid genetic marker?" A woman near me whispered to her companion, "That is Kendra Washington. She owns that small design studio in Capitol Hill. I heard she was a single mother of quadruplets." The man whispered back, "Quadruplets, and they all have his eyes. Do you think?" I could not breathe, could not think. I just needed to get my children and get out of there. "We are leaving, right now." But before I could move, Trevor was walking down the steps from the stage. His expensive shoes crunched on the broken glass. He walked through the crowd like he was in a trance. People moved out of his way. Everyone was staring. Everyone was recording on their phones. He stopped 10 feet away from me. Our eyes met for the first time in 6 years, and I saw everything in his face. Shock, recognition, disbelief, hope, grief. Everything I had felt when he disappeared. Kendra, my name on his lips made me want to cry, and scream, and run. All at the same time. "Don't. Just don't." His eyes moved to the children, to Caleb standing close to my side, to Jordan holding onto my dress, to Autumn pressed against my legs, to Haven in my arms. He looked at each of their faces like he was memorizing them. "Are they?" His voice cracked. "Are they mine?" The ballroom went completely silent. 200 people held their breath, waiting for my answer. Phones recording. This moment was about to be everywhere. On social media, on news sites, in gossip columns. There was no taking it back, no hiding it anymore. I looked at Trevor Kincaid, the man who had loved me and left me, the man who had promised me forever and given me nothing, the man who had broken my heart so completely I thought I would never recover, the man who was the father of my children and did not even know they existed. I could lie. I could grab my children and run. I could protect him from the scandal that was about to hit. But why? Why should I protect him? He had not protected me. He had not been there when I needed him most. He did not deserve my protection. So I told the truth. Yes, they are yours. Caleb, Jordan, Autumn, and Haven. They are 5 years old. You left me 6 years ago, 2 weeks before I found out I was carrying them. So, yes, Trevor, they are yours. Congratulations. You are a father. The ballroom erupted. Gasps, whispers, camera flashes going off like fireworks. Trevor's legs seemed to give out. He fell to his knees on the marble floor. Tears ran down his face, his perfectly styled hair falling into his eyes, his expensive suit crumpling around him. 5 years. Oh God, 5 years. Then Francesca screamed. The sound was so loud and sharp that several people jumped. You have what? She ran down the stage steps, her champagne-colored gown flowing behind her like water. Her face was red, her perfectly done makeup cracking with rage. You had children with another woman? While you were married to me? Trevor looked up at her. His face was destroyed. Tears everywhere. Snot running from his nose. We were not married yet. This was before us. I do not care when it was. Francesca ripped the massive diamond ring off her finger. It had to be at least 5 carats. She threw it at him. It bounced off his chest and skittered across the marble floor. Someone nearby gasped. We are done. Do you hear me? We are done. My lawyers will contact you tomorrow. I want half of everything you own. Half of the company. Half of the properties. Half of every single thing. She grabbed a champagne flute from a passing waiter. The waiter tried to protest, but Francesca was already moving. She walked up to Trevor, still on his knees, and dumped the entire glass of champagne over his head. The golden liquid ran down his face, soaked his hair, dripped onto his suit. Then she threw the crystal glass onto the floor. It shattered. Pieces flew everywhere. The ballroom was chaos. Everyone talking at once. Phones everywhere. Reporters who had been covering the charity event rushed forward with microphones and cameras. Miss Washington, how long were you in a relationship with Trevor Kincaid? Did you know he was going to marry Francesca Ashton? Why did you hide the children for 5 years? Are you seeking child support? How much money are you asking for? Questions came from every direction. Microphones shoved in my face. Cameras flashing. My children started crying. Haven buried her face in my shoulder. Autumn grabbed my dress with both hands. Jordan and Caleb pressed against my legs. No comment. Please move. We need to leave. But they would not move. They kept pushing closer. More questions. More cameras. More flashes. My children were sobbing now, scared and confused and overwhelmed. Security guards in dark suits pushed through the crowd. Everyone stepped back. Give them space. I did not wait. I pushed through the crowd with my children, found a side exit, burst through the door into the Seattle night. It was raining. Of course, it was raining. It always rained in Seattle. I ran down the sidewalk, all 4 children running with me, their nice outfits getting wet, their shoes splashing through puddles. We ran for 3 blocks, 4 blocks, 5 blocks. Finally, I stopped, let myself breathe, let myself feel. My whole body was shaking. My children were crying. My life had just exploded in front of 200 people and countless cameras. Mama, why are you crying? Caleb looked up at me, his mismatched eyes so much like his father's. My heart broke all over again. I am not crying, baby. It is just rain. But I was lying. I was crying, tears mixing with rain on my face. We walked to the bus stop, got on the bus soaking wet. People stared, but I did not care. I just held my children close, told them everything was okay, even though I had no idea if that was true. By the time we got home, it was almost 10 at night. I helped each child out of their wet clothes, put them in warm pajamas, made them hot chocolate even though it was late. They sat at our small kitchen table, quiet now, still scared. I am sorry you had to see that, babies. Sometimes grown-ups have complicated feelings. But you did nothing wrong. None of this is your fault. Do you understand? They nodded, but I could see the confusion in their eyes. Who was that man, Mama? I did not know how to answer Jordan's question. How do you explain to a 5-year-old that the man crying on his knees was their father, that he did not know they existed, that their mother's heart was broken by him 6 years ago and just broke again tonight? We will talk about it tomorrow, okay? Right now, you need to sleep. I put them to bed, read them 3 stories, kissed each forehead, turned on their nightlight, and I went to the living room and sat on the couch in the dark. My phone was buzzing constantly. I had turned the sound off, but I could see the screen lighting up over and over. Missed call, text message, missed call, text message, over and over and over. I finally looked. 37 missed calls from numbers I did not recognize. 58 text messages. Miss Washington, this is David Chen from the Seattle Times. I would like to ask you some questions about Trevor Kincaid. This is Channel 7 News. We would like to interview you about the events at tonight's gala. Miss Washington, how much money are you asking for in child support? I turned off my phone, put it face down on the coffee table, and sat there in the dark, alone, again, just like I had been 6 years ago. Somewhere across the city, Trevor Kincaid was probably in his mansion, or penthouse, or wherever rich people lived when their lives fell apart. Maybe he was drinking. Maybe he was crying. Maybe he was already calling lawyers. I did not know. I did not care. All I knew was that the man who abandoned me had seen our children, and nothing would ever be the same again. I did not sleep that night. Could not sleep. I sat on that couch and watched the sky slowly get lighter through my window. When the sun came up, I made coffee, checked on the children. They were all still sleeping. Caleb had his arm around his dinosaur toy. Jordan was curled in a ball. Autumn had kicked off her blanket. Haven was sucking her thumb. I pulled Autumn's blanket back over her, kissed each of their foreheads, and tried not to think about what came next. At 8 in the morning, my phone rang. I had turned it back on to check the time. The number was unknown, but something made me answer. Hello, Miss Washington. My name is Lawrence Chen. I represent Trevor Kincaid. Mr. Kincaid would like to arrange a meeting with you to discuss the children. My stomach dropped. I have nothing to say to him. Miss Washington, Mr. Kincaid has legal rights as the biological father. We can do this the easy way or the difficult way, but we need to discuss custody arrangements, child support, and visitation. I strongly suggest we handle this cooperatively rather than through the courts. Are you threatening me? I am simply stating facts. We will be in touch, Miss Washington. Have a good day. He hung up. I stared at my phone. Custody arrangements, visitation, courts, words that made my hands shake, words that meant Trevor could try to take my children, the children I had raised alone, the children who did not even know who he was. I called Rochelle. She answered on the second ring. Oh my God, Kendra. I saw the news. I saw the videos. Are you okay? No, I am not okay. His lawyer just called. He wants to talk about custody. What? He cannot just... Can he? I do not know. I do not know anything about family law. I cannot afford a lawyer. I do not know what to do. I am coming over right now. Rochelle arrived 30 minutes later with bags of food from the diner near the hospital. You need to eat, and then we need to figure this out. She made the children breakfast while I sat at the table and tried not to fall apart. Caleb kept looking at me with worried eyes. Are you okay, Mama? I am fine, baby. Eat your pancakes. But I was not fine. I was terrified. What if Trevor took me to court? What if a judge said he deserved custody? What if I lost my children because I could not afford better lawyers than a billionaire could? After the kids finished eating, Rochelle took them to the park. I needed space to think, to breathe, to look at what was happening online. I opened my laptop and typed my name into the search bar. The first result made my stomach hurt. Tech billionaire Trevor Kincaid's secret quadruplets revealed at corporate gala. There were photos, so many photos. My children running toward the stage, Trevor on his knees, Francesca throwing champagne, me trying to protect my kids from the cameras. Every moment captured and shared for the world to see. I clicked on an article. Trevor Kincaid, CEO of Meridian Tech and heir to the Kincaid fortune, was exposed last night at the annual corporate gala when 4 children appeared who share his distinctive genetic condition. Sources confirm the children belong to Kendra Washington, owner of Carter Design Studio in Seattle. Miss Washington has been raising the quadruplets alone for 5 years. Kincaid's wife, Francesca Ashton Kincaid, immediately announced she is filing for divorce. This scandal has rocked Seattle's tech industry in high society circles. I closed the laptop, put my head down on the table. My children's faces were all over the internet. Their privacy violated, their lives turned into entertainment, and I could not do anything to stop it. That afternoon, while Rochelle watched the kids, I went to the gallery. I needed to work, needed to focus on something other than the disaster my life had become. But when I got there, reporters were waiting outside, 5 of them, with cameras and microphones. Miss Washington, how long were you in a relationship with Trevor Kincaid? Did you know about his family's wealth when you got involved? Are you planning to sue for child support? I kept my head down, unlocked the gallery door, got inside and locked it behind me. They stayed outside taking pictures of the windows. I tried to work, tried to focus on client projects, but I could not stop thinking about Trevor, about the look on his face when he saw the children, about the tears, about the lawyer's call. My phone rang. Unknown number. I almost did not answer, but something made me pick up. Is this Kendra Washington? Yes, this is Robert Brennan. I represent Richard Kincaid, Trevor's father. Mr. Kincaid would like to discuss a business proposition with you. I am not interested. I think you should hear what I have to say. It would be beneficial for everyone involved, especially your children. What kind of proposition? I would prefer to discuss this in person. May I come to your home this evening? Say 8 o'clock? No. You may not come to my home. Then perhaps your gallery? I can be there in 20 minutes. Against my better judgment, I said yes. I wanted to know what Trevor's father was planning. 20 minutes later, a man in an expensive gray suit walked into my gallery carrying a leather briefcase. He was in his 60s, with silver hair and cold eyes that looked right through me. Miss Washington, thank you for seeing me. What do you want, Mr. Brennan? He opened his briefcase and pulled out a piece of paper. He held it up so I could see it clearly. It was a check, made out to Kendra Washington. The amount written on it was $3 million. I stared at that number. $3 million. More money than I had ever seen in my life. More money than I would make in 10 years. 20 years. Money that could change everything for my children. Mr. Richard Kincaid is prepared to give you this money in exchange for a very simple agreement. You take your children and move away from Seattle. California perhaps, or Texas, anywhere but here. You start a new life. Your children get the best schools, the best opportunities, and my client's son can return to his life and his business without this complication. Complication, that is what he called my children. A complication. My children are not for sale. This is not about selling anything. This is about doing what is best for everyone. Your children would have a better life with this money. You could give them everything they need. What they need is their father. Now get out. Robert's friendly expression disappeared. He put the check back in his briefcase. You are making a mistake, Miss Washington. If you do not accept this generous offer, you will find yourself in a very difficult legal battle. Mr. Trevor Kincaid has substantial resources and excellent legal representation. Do you? Get out. He left. I locked the door behind him and leaned against it. $3 million. He had just offered me $3 million to disappear. Like my children were a problem to be solved with money. Like I was someone who could be bought. I called Trevor. I still had his number in my phone from 6 years ago. I did not know if it would work, but I needed to tell him what his father had done. The phone rang 3 times. Then he answered. Kendra. His voice was rough, like he had been crying, or maybe drinking. Your father just tried to bribe me. $3 million to take my children and disappear. What? No. I did not. I would never. I know you did not. But he did. And I said no. I am not going anywhere, Trevor. Those are your children whether you like it or not. And if you want to be part of their lives, you will call off your father and his lawyers, and you will do this the right way. I hung up before he could respond. My hands were shaking, but I felt strong, powerful. For the first time since that night at the Gala, I felt like I was in control. I had stood up to Richard Kincaid's money. I had told Trevor what I expected. I had protected my children, and I was not done fighting yet. That night, I could not sleep again. I kept thinking about Trevor's voice on the phone. The shock when I told him about his father's bribe. Part of me wondered if he really did not know. Part of me did not care. His father, his family, his problem. But at 3 a.m, my phone buzzed with a text message. Unknown number. This is Trevor. I am so sorry about my father. I had no idea. I have cut all contact with him. Please, Kendra. I need to see them. I need to see our children. Not through lawyers. Just me and you. Can we talk? I stared at that message for 10 minutes. Then I typed back. Fine. Coffee shop on Madison Street. Tuesday at 2. Come alone. He responded immediately. I will be there. Thank you. Tuesday came too fast. Rochelle watched the children while I took the bus downtown. The coffee shop was small and quiet. Not the one where we first met. I could not handle that. This was neutral territory. Safe. Trevor was already there when I arrived, sitting at a corner table. He looked terrible. His hair was messy. He had dark circles under his eyes. His clothes looked slept in. When he saw me, he stood up so fast he knocked his chair backwards. Kendra, thank you for coming. Thank you for giving me a chance to explain. I sat down across from him, did not take off my coat. I was ready to leave at any second. You have 30 minutes. Talk. He sat back down, ran his hands through his hair, took a deep breath. 6 years ago, my father found out about us, about you and me. Someone saw us together at a restaurant and told him. He called me to his office. I had never seen him so angry. I did not say anything, just waited. He told me I was supposed to marry Francesca Ashton, that our families had an arrangement. His tech company and her family's hotel business were going to merge. The marriage was part of the deal. A business transaction. My stomach turned. A business transaction. That is what I was up against. Not another woman. Not even love. Just business. I told him I did not love Francesca. I told him I loved you. I told him I was going to ask you to marry me. Trevor's voice broke on those words. I felt tears sting my eyes, but I refused to let them fall. He said, if I did not end things with you and marry Francesca, he would destroy everything. He would shut down my startup. He would fire 200 employees. He said 50 families depended on the projects we were working on, and they would lose everything. He said it was my responsibility to protect the company and those people. That one person's happiness did not matter when so many lives were at stake. So you chose them over me. My voice came out flat, cold, empty. I thought I was doing the right thing. I thought I was being responsible and noble. I convinced myself that sacrificing my happiness was the mature choice, the grown-up choice. You were a coward. Trevor flinched like I had hit him. Yes, I was a coward. I was scared of my father, scared of losing everything I had built, scared of being responsible for people losing their jobs. So I blocked your number. I moved out of my apartment. I avoided every place we used to go. I married Francesca 3 months later. 3 months. He had replaced me in 3 months. Did you love her? No. It was an arrangement. We both knew that. She wanted the Kincaid name and connections. I wanted to please my father and save my company. We were business partners who happened to share a bed sometimes. The image made me feel sick. Did you ever think about me? Did you ever wonder what happened to me? Every single day. I drank myself sick for 6 months after I left you. I hated myself. But I thought it was too late. I thought you had moved on. I thought you hated me and I deserved it. I did hate you. I do hate you. The words came out hard and sharp. Trevor looked down at his hands. I know. We sat in silence for a long moment. The coffee shop hummed with quiet conversation around us. Normal people living normal lives, not sitting across from the person who destroyed them. Did you really not know I was pregnant? I swear I did not know. If I had known, if I had any idea, what would you have done? You still would have chosen your father's approval. You still would have chosen the money and the business deals. You just would have felt guiltier about it. Maybe. I do not know. I cannot change what I did. I can only tell you that those children, our children, they are the most beautiful thing I have ever seen. And I have missed 5 years of their lives because I was a coward. His voice broke completely. Tears ran down his face. He did not try to hide them. 5 years of birthdays, first words, first steps, first days of school. Everything. I missed everything. Yes, you did. I was not going to make this easy for him. He did not deserve easy. I want to be their father, Kendra. I know I have no right to ask. I know I do not deserve it. But please, please let me try. Let me get to know them. Let me be part of their lives. They do not even know who you are. They have asked me why they do not have a daddy like other kids, and I have never known what to say. How do I explain that their father did not know they existed? That he chose business over love? That he broke my heart so badly I am still putting the pieces back together? Tell them the truth. Tell them I was a coward who made the worst mistake of my life. Tell them I am sorry. Tell them I want to make it right. Making it right is not that simple, Trevor. You do not just get to walk in and be a dad. You have to earn that. I know. I will do whatever it takes. Supervised visits, whatever rules you want to set. I will follow all of them. Just please, please give me a chance. I looked at him, really looked at him. I saw the pain in his face, the regret, the desperation. Part of me wanted to say no, to protect my children from the man who had hurt me so badly. But another part of me thought about Caleb's question. Why do not we have a daddy? They deserve to know their father. Even if he was a coward, even if he had abandoned me, they deserve that chance. Fine. You can visit them. 2 hours every Saturday, at my apartment. I will be there the entire time. If you miss even one visit, you are done. Do you understand? Yes, yes, I understand. Thank you. Thank you so much. This is not for you. This is for them. They deserve to know their father, even if he does not deserve to know them. I stood up, put my bag over my shoulder. I will text you my address. Saturday at 10 in the morning. Do not be late. I will be there at 9:45. I walked out of the coffee shop without looking back, got on the bus, went home to my children, and tried not to think about whether I had just made the best decision or the worst mistake of my life. Saturday morning came too fast. I woke up early and cleaned the apartment, made sure the children's toys were organized, made sure there was nothing embarrassing lying around. I did not know why I cared. This was my home. Trevor had no right to judge it, but I still cleaned. At 9:30, I told the children they were having a visitor. Who is coming, Mama? Someone who wants to meet you. Is it Auntie Ro? No, baby. Someone different. At exactly 9:45, there was a knock on the door. I looked through the peephole. Trevor stood in the hallway, holding a large shopping bag. He was wearing jeans and a sweater, not his usual expensive suit. He looked nervous. I opened the door. You are early. I did not want to be late. I let him inside. My apartment was small. The living room had one couch and a television. Toys were scattered on the floor despite my cleaning. The kitchen table had 4 small chairs. Everything was clean but worn. The furniture was secondhand. The walls needed paint. This was not the life Trevor was used to, but it was the life I had built for our children. The kids were in their bedroom. I called them out. Babies, come here please. 4 pairs of feet ran out. Then they saw Trevor and stopped, all 4 of them staring at this tall stranger in their living room. Trevor knelt down on the floor so he was at their eye level. His hands were shaking. I could see tears already forming in his eyes. Hi, my name is Trevor. It is so nice to meet you. The children did not say anything. They looked at me. I nodded. It is okay. He is a friend. Trevor opened the shopping bag. He pulled out toys and books. A plastic dinosaur for Caleb, a small keyboard for Jordan, colored pencils and a drawing pad for Autumn, storybooks for Haven. I heard someone likes dinosaurs. Caleb's eyes went wide. He took a tiny step forward. How did you know? A little bird told me. Caleb took the dinosaur, examined it carefully. This is a Tyrannosaurus Rex. They lived millions of years ago, and they were the most powerful predators. Wow, you know a lot about dinosaurs. That is really impressive. Trevor's voice was thick with emotion. He looked at Caleb like he was the most precious thing in the world. Jordan stepped forward next, touched the keyboard with one finger. A note played. Does it make music? Yes. Do you like music? Jordan nodded, pressed another key, then another. A simple melody emerged. That is beautiful. Did you make that up? Jordan nodded again, shy but pleased. Autumn took the colored pencils and drawing pad, opened the box and looked at all the colors. "Thank you." Her voice was so quiet Trevor almost did not hear it. "You are very welcome. I heard you like to draw. Maybe you could show me some of your pictures sometime?" Autumn nodded. Haven was the last one. She held back, clutching her stuffed rabbit. Trevor pulled out 3 books with colorful covers. "These are for you. Would you like me to read one?" Haven looked at me. I nodded. She walked forward slowly, handed him a book, then climbed onto the couch. Trevor sat next to her, opened the book, and started reading. His voice cracked on the first page. Tears ran down his face, but he kept reading. All 3 books. Haven leaned against his side. The other children gathered around to listen. I watched from the kitchen doorway, my arms crossed, my heart breaking and healing at the same time. This was the father they should have had from the beginning, but he was here now. And that had to count for something. When the 2 hours were up, I told the children it was time for Trevor to leave. They all groaned. But we were playing. "I know, baby. But Trevor has to go now. Maybe he can come back next week." I looked at Trevor, raised an eyebrow. "Can you?" "Yes, absolutely. I will be here next Saturday, same time. I promise." The children hugged him, all 4 of them, wrapping their little arms around his legs. Trevor closed his eyes. More tears fell. He hugged them back like he never wanted to let go. "I will see you next week, okay?" "Okay." At the door, Trevor turned to me. "Thank you, Kendra. This was everything. Do not thank me. Just show up next week. That is all I ask." "I will. I promise I will." And he did show up. The next Saturday at 9:45, and the Saturday after that, and the Saturday after that. For 3 months, he never missed a single visit. He brought small gifts. He played with the children. He listened to Caleb talk about dinosaurs. He helped Jordan learn simple songs on the keyboard. He admired every picture Autumn drew. He read endless books to Haven, and slowly, my children fell in love with their father. By the 3rd visit, Caleb was showing Trevor his favorite dinosaur book. They sat on the couch together reading, Trevor's arm around Caleb's shoulders. By the 5th visit, Jordan was asking Trevor to help him learn a new song. They sat at the keyboard together, making mistakes and laughing. By the 8th visit, Autumn drew a picture of their family. A woman with dark curly hair, a man with light hair, 4 children. She gave it to Trevor. "This is our family." Trevor stared at that picture, tears streaming down his face. "Can I keep this?" Autumn nodded. "I made it for you." Haven started calling him Daddy by the 6th visit, just casually, like it was the most natural thing in the world. "Daddy, read me this book." Trevor froze the first time she said it, looked at me with panic and hope. I just nodded. He could be their daddy. He was earning it. I watched all of this from the kitchen, keeping my distance, not joining in. I was there to supervise, to make sure the children were safe, not to play happy family with the man who had destroyed me. But I could see that he was trying, really trying, and the children were happy, happier than I had seen them in a long time. 3 months after the first visit, everything changed. It was a Sunday afternoon. Trevor had been there for 4 hours. The visits had extended because the children did not want him to leave. They were all building a tower with blocks, trying to see how high they could make it before it fell. It crashed to the floor. Blocks everywhere. The children laughed. "Let us build it even higher this time." They started gathering blocks, and then Caleb stopped. He looked at Trevor, really looked at him. "I love you, Daddy." The room went completely silent. Trevor's hands froze in midair. His eyes went wide. Then he started crying, really crying, his whole body shaking with sobs. Caleb ran to him, wrapped his arms around Trevor's neck. "Why are you crying?" "Because I am so happy." "I love you too, buddy. I love you so much." Then Jordan came over, hugged Trevor too. Then Autumn. Then Haven. All 4 of them piled on top of him. A tangle of arms and love. "I love all of you more than anything in the whole world." I stood in the kitchen doorway watching, tears running down my own face. Something inside my heart broke open, not in a painful way, in a healing way. I realized in that moment that Trevor had changed. He was not the same man who had left me 6 years ago. That man had been a coward who ran away when things got hard. This man showed up every single week. This man gave up his father's approval for his children. This man truly loved Caleb, Jordan, Autumn, and Haven. And maybe, just maybe, people could change. Maybe forgiveness was possible. Maybe we could find a way forward, not for Trevor and me, but for our children, for this family we had created. After Trevor left that day, I sat with Rochelle at my kitchen table. The children were in bed. We were drinking tea and trying to process everything. He is different, Ro. I can see it. I know. I have been watching him with the kids. He really loves them. I never thought I would say this, but I think I am starting to forgive him, not for what he did to me. I am not there yet. Maybe I will never be there, but I am forgiving him for the sake of our children, because they need their father, and he is actually being a good father. That is growth, girl. That is real strength. 2 days later, I received a certified letter. My hands shook as I opened it. Legal letterhead, DNA test request, paternity establishment, custody arrangements. I called Trevor immediately. What is this? A DNA test? After everything, after 3 months of visits, you still need proof? His voice on the phone sounded tired. It is not me, Kendra. It is my lawyers. They are insisting on it, for legal reasons, to establish custody and child support formally. I am sorry. I know it is insulting. I know those are my children. Anyone who looks at them can see it. But legally, we have to do this right. Fine. Schedule it. But this better be the last legal thing you throw at me. It will be. I promise. After this, we can set up custody arrangements, child support, everything properly. So you and the children are protected legally. We hung up. I hated this. Hated reducing my children to DNA samples and legal documents. But Trevor was right. We needed to do this properly. For their protection. The test was scheduled for Friday at a private clinic. I dressed the children carefully that morning. Wanted them to look cared for. Loved. Not like some struggling single mother who could not handle 4 kids. Trevor was already in the waiting room when we arrived. He stood up immediately, walked toward us, then stopped, unsure if he should hug the children. If I would allow it. It is okay. You can hug them. Relief flooded his face. He knelt down and all 4 children ran to him, hugged him tight. I missed you guys. We missed you too, Daddy. A nurse called us back, explained the procedure. A simple cheek swab. 3 seconds for each person. Nothing painful. Caleb went first, brave and curious. What are you testing for? We are checking to see if you and Trevor have matching DNA, like a science experiment. Cool. Jordan went second, quiet but cooperative. Autumn went third, asked lots of questions about how DNA worked. The nurse answered patiently. Then it was Haven's turn. She took one look at the cotton swab and started crying. No, I do not want to. She ran to me. I picked her up. Baby, it will be so fast. Just 3 seconds. Watch Mama count. 1, 2, 3. That is all. But she buried her face in my shoulder, would not look at the nurse. Trevor stepped forward. Haven, sweetheart, can you look at me? She peeked out. I am scared too. This is a little scary, isn't it? She nodded. How about we do it together? You go first and be really brave. And then I go right after. And I will hold your hand the whole time if you want. Haven looked at me. I nodded. She slowly reached out and took Trevor's hand. It was so small in his. He walked her to the chair, knelt beside her. You are the bravest person I know, just like your mama. Haven sat in the chair, held Trevor's hand tight. The nurse did the swab. 3 seconds. Done. See? You did it. You were so brave. Trevor's voice broke. Tears ran down his face. Haven climbed down from the chair, hugged him. Do not cry, Daddy. These are happy tears, because I am so proud of you. Then it was Trevor's turn. He sat in the chair. The nurse swabbed his cheek. 3 seconds. Done. All finished. Results will be ready in 48 hours. We will call both parties. As we were leaving, Trevor stopped me. Kendra, can we talk? Just for a few minutes? My lawyer can watch the kids in the waiting room. Every part of me wanted to say no, but something in his eyes made me agree. Fine. 5 minutes. We went into a small consultation room. The door closed. Just the two of us. 6 years of pain and anger between us. Why did you really leave, Trevor? The truth. Not the excuse about your father and the business. The real reason. He was quiet for a long moment. Then he spoke. I was scared. Of how much I loved you. Of how much power you had over me. With you, I was not Trevor Kincaid, heir to the family fortune. I was just me. And that terrified me. Because what if just me was not enough? What if you realized I was not this successful, powerful person everyone thought I was? What if you left? So, you left first. Yes, I was a coward. I let my father's threats give me an excuse to run. But the truth is, even without his ultimatum, I might have run anyway. Because I was scared of how real we were. The honesty in his voice broke something in me. A wall I had been building for 6 years. You destroyed me, Trevor. Do you understand that? I loved you more than I had ever loved anyone. And you just disappeared. Like I meant nothing. I know. And I will spend the rest of my life regretting it. Those 5 years I missed with our children. Every birthday, every first word, every nightmare I was not there for. I cannot get that back. But I am here now. And I am not going anywhere. Ever again. How do I know that? How do I know you will not run the next time things get hard? Because I have already lost everything that matters once. I am not doing it again. I walked away from my father, from the family business, from everything he spent 30 years building me up to be. For them, for our children, and for you, if you will ever let me back in. This is not about me, Trevor. This is about Caleb, Jordan, Autumn, and Haven. Is not it, though? They need their father, yes, but they also need their mother to be happy, to be whole, not carrying around 6 years of pain and anger. I am working on it. Can I help? Can I? Can I try to earn your forgiveness? Not just as their father, but as the man who loved you and hurt you and wants to make it right. I looked at him, really looked at him, and for the first time in 6 years, I saw the man I fell in love with. Not the coward who ran, but the man who sat in a coffee shop for 3 hours talking about dreams. The man who believed in me when no one else did. I do not know if I can forgive you, Trevor. Not yet. Maybe not ever. But I am willing to try. For them. And maybe for us too. That is all I am asking for. A chance. Then prove it. Show up. Not just on Saturdays. In every way that matters. Prove to me that you have changed. Prove to me that I can trust you again. I will. I promise I will. We walked out of that consultation room, collected our children, went our separate ways. But something had shifted. Some small crack in the wall between us. Not forgiveness. Not yet. But the possibility of it. And that was enough for now. The DNA results came back 48 hours later. I was at the gallery when my phone rang. Private number. I almost did not answer, but something told me to pick up. Miss Washington. This is Dr. Lopez from the clinic. I am calling with the DNA test results. My heart pounded even though I already knew what she was going to say. Go ahead. The test confirms that Trevor Kincaid is the biological father of Caleb Carter, Jordan Carter, Autumn Carter, and Haven Carter. The probability of paternity is 99.99%. I closed my eyes. Hearing it said officially made it real in a way it had not been before. Thank you, doctor. The full report has been sent to both parties. Have a good day, Miss Washington. I hung up, sat at my desk, stared at the wall. This was it. No more denying it. No more pretending. Trevor was legally their father now, which meant he had legal rights, which meant everything was about to change. 1 hour later, Lawrence Chen called. Miss Washington, I assume you received the test results. Yes. Good. Now we need to discuss custody arrangements and child support. Mr. Kincaid would like to arrange regular visitation, possibly shared custody. He would also like to establish a child support agreement that adequately provides for the children's needs. I need time to think about this. Miss Washington, Mr. Kincaid has legal rights as the biological father. If you do not work with us voluntarily, we will have no choice but to file a petition in family court. I strongly suggest we settle this without involving a judge. It will be better for everyone, especially the children. Are you threatening me? I am informing you of the legal reality. We will give you 1 week to consider our proposal. Then we will proceed with legal action if necessary." He hung up. I sat there staring at my phone. 1 week. 1 week to decide if I was going to fight Trevor in court or try to work something out. 1 week to figure out how to protect my children while also giving them access to their father. I called Rochelle. "They are threatening to take me to court." "What? They cannot just do that." "They can. Trevor has rights now. The DNA test proved it. If I do not agree to custody arrangements, they will get a judge to force me." "Kendra, you need a lawyer." "I cannot afford a lawyer. Not one who can go up against Trevor's team. Then you need to work something out with him. Without the lawyers, just you and Trevor. Figure out what is best for the kids." I hung up and sat in my gallery. Customers came and went. I smiled and answered questions and talked about paintings. But my mind was somewhere else, thinking about my children, about Trevor, about what was best for them versus what felt safe for me. That night, after the children were asleep, I texted Trevor. "We need to talk. Just you and me. No lawyers." He responded within seconds. "When and where?" "Tomorrow. Same coffee shop. 2 o'clock. I will be there." The next afternoon I took the bus downtown. Trevor was already sitting at our usual table. He looked nervous, kept running his hands through his hair. When he saw me, he stood up. "Thank you for agreeing to meet." I sat down, did not take off my coat. "Your lawyer is threatening to take me to court if I do not agree to custody arrangements." I told him not to do that. I told him I wanted to work this out with you directly, but he said it is his job to protect my interests and the children's interests legally. The children's interests are being with their mother, the mother who has raised them alone for 5 years. I am not trying to take them away from you, Kendra. I just want to be part of their lives, really part of their lives. Not just 2 hours on Saturdays. What does that mean? It means overnight visits, weekends, being able to pick them up from school sometimes, taking them to the park, making them breakfast, putting them to bed. All the things fathers do. You are not their father. Not really. You are a man they have known for 3 months. Trevor flinched like I had slapped him. I know I have not earned that title yet, but I am trying. I show up every week. I love them. They love me. Haven calls me daddy. Does not that count for something? It counts for something, but it does not mean you get to just walk in and demand half their lives. I am not demanding anything. I am asking, begging if I have to. Let me have them 1 weekend a month, Friday evening to Sunday afternoon. Let me prove to you that I can be trusted with them. And if something goes wrong, if they get sick or scared, or they need me, you call and I bring them home immediately. No questions asked. You are still their mother. I am not trying to replace you. I am trying to be their father alongside you. I was quiet for a long time, thinking about Caleb asking why they did not have a daddy, thinking about Jordan watching other kids play catch with their fathers, thinking about how happy my children were on Saturdays when Trevor came over, 1 weekend a month. You pick them up Friday at 6. You bring them back Sunday at 4. You call me every night so I can talk to them. And if they want to come home early, you bring them. No arguing. Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Kendra. Thank you so much. And Trevor, if you hurt them, if you disappoint them, if you make promises you do not keep, I will make sure you never see them again. Do you understand me? I understand. I will not let them down. I promise. We set up the details. First overnight visit would be in 2 weeks. That gave Trevor time to prepare his apartment. Gave me time to prepare my heart for letting my babies go. The 2 weeks passed too quickly. Trevor sent me photos of the bunk beds he bought. Dinosaur sheets for Caleb and Jordan's room. Rainbow sheets for Autumn and Haven's room. He stocked his kitchen with their favorite foods. He bought art supplies and books and toys. He was trying so hard. Friday evening came. 6 o'clock. Trevor knocked on my door. The children were already packed. Small suitcases with their clothes and toothbrushes and favorite stuffed animals. They were excited, bouncing around the living room talking over each other. Are we really sleeping at Daddy's house? For 2 whole nights? Is he going to make us pancakes? I smiled, even though my heart was breaking. This was the first time in 5 years I would be away from my children overnight. The first time they would sleep somewhere I could not check on them. Yes, you are sleeping at Daddy's house. And you need to be good and listen to him, okay? We will, Mama. Trevor stood in the doorway looking at me. I will take good care of them. I promise. I know. I helped load the children into Trevor's car, buckled each one into their car seats, kissed each forehead. I love you. Be good. I will talk to you before bed. Love you, Mama. Then they drove away. I stood on the sidewalk, watching the car disappear. Then I went back inside to my empty apartment and cried. The silence was deafening. For 5 years my apartment had been filled with noise, talking and laughing and crying and playing. Now there was nothing, just me and the quiet. I did not know what to do with myself. I called Rochelle. They are gone. The apartment is so quiet. This is good, Kendra. You need a break. When is the last time you had a weekend to yourself? Never. I have never had a weekend to myself. Then use this time. Sleep. Watch movies. Take a bath. Do all the things you never have time for. But I could not relax. I cleaned the apartment, even though it was already clean. I organized the children's toys. I folded laundry. Anything to keep busy. Anything to not think about how much I missed them. At 8 o'clock, Trevor called. They are asking to talk to you. Put them on. 4 voices came through the phone, talking over each other, excited and happy. Mama, Daddy made spaghetti, and we watched a movie. And his apartment is so big, and I have my own bed with rainbow sheets. That is wonderful, babies. Are you being good? Yes, Mama. Good. I love you. Sleep tight. Love you, Mama. Then Trevor came back on the line. They are okay. We are all okay. I am going to read them stories and put them to bed in about an hour. Thank you for calling. Of course, I will call again tomorrow. And Kendra, if you need anything, if you want me to bring them home, I know. Good night, Trevor. Good night. I hung up, sat on my couch, and realized I was smiling. My children were happy. They were safe. They were with their father. And maybe, just maybe, this was going to work out. That night, I slept for 10 hours straight. No interruptions, no children crawling into bed with me because of bad dreams, no one needing water or another story. Just sleep. Deep, restful, uninterrupted sleep. I woke up Sunday morning feeling more rested than I had in 5 years, but I also felt empty. The apartment was too quiet, too still. I missed the chaos. I missed my babies. At 4 o'clock, Trevor's car pulled up outside. I was at the window watching. The doors opened, and 4 children spilled out, running toward the building. I met them at the apartment door. They crashed into me, all talking at once. Mama, we missed you. Daddy took us to the park and the aquarium, and we saw sharks. I hugged them tight, breathed in their smell. My babies, my whole world. Trevor stood in the doorway with their bags. They were perfect, no problems at all. Thank you for taking such good care of them. It was my pleasure. Same time next month? Yes, same time. After he left, the children told me everything, every detail of their weekend, and I listened, and I realized something important. They needed this. They needed their father, and maybe I needed it too. Not the time away, but the knowledge that I was not alone anymore, that someone else loved them as much as I did, that I had a partner in this, even if he was not my partner in the romantic sense. 1 month became 2. 2 became 6. Every month, Trevor took the children for a weekend, and every month, they came back happy and full of stories. He never missed a pickup, never brought them back late, never broke a promise. He was proving himself. Slowly but surely, he was proving that he had changed. And I started to notice other things too. The child support payments that appeared in my account every month, more than I had asked for. Enough to finally fix my car, enough to move to a slightly bigger apartment, enough to breathe a little easier. But it was not just about money. Trevor started showing up in other ways too. He came to Caleb's first soccer game, cheered so loud the other parents stared. He attended Jordan's first piano recital, cried when Jordan played his solo. He went to Autumn's art show at school, bought 3 of her paintings to hang in his office. He volunteered to be a chaperone on Haven's field trip to the zoo. He was not just a weekend dad. He was becoming a real father, present and involved and reliable. 6 months after the first overnight visit, Trevor asked me something that changed everything. Can we do something as a family? All 6 of us? Maybe go to the park or the zoo or something? The children were asking why they could not see both of us at the same time, why they had to choose between Mama days and Daddy days. And honestly, I did not have a good answer. Okay, we can try it. The following Saturday, we all went to the Woodland Park Zoo. Trevor picked us up. The children were ecstatic, bouncing in their car seats, talking over each other. At the zoo, we walked together. Trevor carried Haven on his shoulders when she got tired.